Today is going to be a little bit different episode. I do not have any script for it, I simply decided to rant a little bit. This is going to be kind of a semi-triggered, semi-rant episode, because what Wargaming is doing with Tier 10 light tanks at the moment is complete bullshit, in my opinion. And no, I am not blaming Wargaming for it, I am blaming all those crybabies who are crying about Tier 10 light tanks, who are crying how OP those Tier 10 light tanks are, who cannot see the big picture. What is a light tank? What is the purpose of light tank? What is medium tank? What is the purpose of medium tank? What is heavy tank, DD, and so on in world of tanks. And someone is fucking drilling somewhere. I hope you do not hear that too much. But guys, before I get into any further action, keep in mind this is my opinion, this is my take on it, this is my view on this situation. You can agree with me, you can disagree with me, you can say fuck you Des, I'm out of here, or you can do whatever you want. This is just my view and my opinion about this situation. So I started playing with Tier 10 light tanks as soon as they came out. I am not super tester, so I guess super testers were able to play with Tier 10 light tanks before me, but when they were introduced into the Sandbox test server, I started playing with them right away. I have seen every single buff, every single nerf to every single Tier 10 light tank, because I believe they started with Sandbox 2.0 version or phase 2. After that, yet another phase for light tanks where they nerfed some tanks, where they buffed some tanks. Because as you remember, in the first phase we had some really good tanks and we had some really shitty tanks, like AMX 13105 was complete garbage, Sheridan was complete garbage, I believe WZ 1321 was almost perfect tank. I believe WZ 1321 was the tank that was ready to be released after the first phase. But they had to do something to the T100 LT's armor, they had to do something to the mobility, something to the Panzerwagen, and so on. Many changes. So after that we received Sandbox second version for light tanks, and what they did, they buffed some tanks, they nerfed some tanks. I believe they buffed AMX 13105's DPM by reducing its reload time, clip reload time from 33 seconds to 27 seconds, and this was one of the biggest concerns actually, and I'm quite okay with this, because 105 was complete garbage without that, and they decided to buff its DPM a little bit, and it made this tank a lot better. But I believe they didn't touch view range, or maybe they actually buffed view range a little bit on some tanks, and on some tanks they nerfed, like Sheridan and Panzerwagen got 430 meters view range. So this was the second phase for light tanks on Sandbox server, and I believe there was actually third phase as well, where they started nerfing DPM a little bit, if I remember correctly, or gun handling a little bit. And after that, public test for patch 9.18 came live, and wow, how people started crying. I believe we have like 10 extra rivers thanks to that, thanks to the patch 9.18 in this world, thanks to all those tiers. But patch 9.18 public test was live, people started playing with those tanks, and yes, they started some kind of a movement. RIP medium tanks are history, light tanks are new medium tanks, and so on. And what Wargaming did? Wargaming had nothing else to do other than listen to those hundreds of thousands, I don't know the number actually, hundreds of thousands of feedbacks where people said light tanks are OP, yada yada yada, you have to nerf it or we quit the game, armored warfare, here I come, and so on. And Wargaming had nothing else to do other than nerf light tanks. And the biggest nerfs, in my opinion at least, happened in the micro batch, where they finally decided to nerf view range on every single tier 10 light tank, and almost on every single tier 10 light tank they nerfed the alpha damage as well. WZ1321 keeps its 390 alpha damage, because you know 121 is 121's speciality is high alpha damage gun as well, so I guess this is why they did it. But they increased WZ's reload time up to 10 point something seconds. And this is where I lost my shit, pretty much. Like, what the fuck is going on? At first, light tanks came out. Some light tanks were pretty strong, some light tanks were pretty weak. They decided to tune it. Okay, after first tuning, they had to do some more tuning, but when they were introduced into the patch 9.18 public test server, in my opinion, they were ready to go. But no, they had to nerf it even more. So what we have at the moment are tier 10 light tanks with limp dicks. This is the best way to describe it, in my opinion, at least. And only because people kept crying, people kept saying medium tanks are weaker than light tanks from now on. But this was not the case even when light tanks were introduced into the Sandbox server in the first place. I was playing with light tanks, I was playing with medium tanks on Sandbox server because, as you remember, to be able to play one battle with tier 10 light tank on Sandbox server in the first phase at least, you had to play 3 games with all the rest of the classes and with all the rest of the tanks, and after that you were able to jump into light tanks once again. I didn't have any troubles killing light tanks, light tank after light tank with my medium tanks, or with my heavy tanks, or with my TDs. Of course, if light tank is going to circle you when you are playing with slow heavy tank or slow TD, you are going to be dead, but this is the speciality of fast tanks. Fast light tanks, fast medium tanks, and some fast heavy tanks are able to circle you to death as well if you are playing with slow heavy or slow TD. But does it make them OP? I don't think so. I really do not think so. So I didn't have any troubles killing light tanks. Just think about it, if you receive one shot from almost every single tier 10 heavy tank, you lose 1/3 of your HP, and if you receive one shot from 750 alpha gun, usually you lose more than half of the HP already with one shot. Light tanks, no armor whatsoever, easily penetrable, and you are super easily killable, actually, if you make mistakes. Yeah, like with every single tank, you make mistake, you die. Yes, but light tanks are not going to forgive you your mistakes. So, what is good about tier 10 light tanks? Or sorry, what was good about tier 10 light tanks? Tier 10 light tanks are fast, they have decent camo. I cannot say that every single light tank has really good camo, because some medium tanks have even better camo or same camo like tier 10 light tanks at the moment, so I can say they have good or decent camo. Badget has 400 meters view range, and Badget can take shit on every single tier 10 light tank. Badget can clip every single tier 10 light tank. Easily, like that. Boom, you're dead. Get back to your garage, on your bike, out of the game, back to Armored Warfare, I guess. Well, maybe it is not fair to compare Badget to the tier 10 light tanks, because Badget is one of the best tanks in this game, overall, period. But Badget is in the game, Badget can face tier 10 light tanks, and Badget can take shit on tier 10 light tanks. But let's compare some other tanks, for example. Let's say Panzerwagen to E50M or Leopard 1. Panzerwagen's TPM 2160, 1600 HP. E50M over 2000 HP and 2437 TPM. Leopard 1's TPM is almost 2700 and almost 2000 hit points. Armor is pretty much the same, but once again, in 1 versus 1 fight, Leopard 1 can take shit on Rheinmetall Panzerwagen easily. And the view range 420 on Panzerwagen, 400 on E50M, which is good enough, and 410 meter view range on Leopard 1, but Leopard 1's alpha damage from now on is a lot better. Penetration is a lot better, 268 compared to the 242. Leopard 1's accuracy is a lot better, 0.3 compared to the 0.36. Leopard 1 is overall a lot better vehicle. And guys, you miss the biggest point in this situation. You cannot compare light tanks to medium tanks like this. You cannot be in the city brawling around with a light tank. You do not have the armor, you do not have the HP, you receive one shot, you are crippled until you are dead or until the end of the battle. You have no armor to rely on. You have no HP pool, all you have is your speed, all you have is your kind of a good camo, all you have is your good view range. You have shitty gun handling, you have shitty alpha damage, you have shitty penetration, accuracy, reload time, TPM, all those are mediocre or simply shitty. So light tanks are not stronger than medium tanks. They were never stronger than medium tanks. Yes, they are fast, they have to be fast. Light tanks are meant to be fast, no armor, easily penetrable. And you receive one RT, you can be one-shotted, your entire family can die inside the tank and you're out of the battle. And by family I mean crew members. Where to start or where to stop, I don't know actually, so I guess you get my point. Light tanks are never stronger than medium tanks. When Wargaming first introduced Tier 10 light tanks, I was super excited that we are going to get something really amazing, fast, sneaky, epic spotters and so on. But what do we have at the moment after all those nerfs? As I said, we have Tier 10 light tanks with limp fucking dicks. Is this what we wanted, guys? I was super excited to grind those tanks out, but at the moment, as they are, I don't know. I feel kinda meh. Okay, they are in the game. What next? What is in the next patch? Pretty much. And today I was playing with Tier 10 light tanks. I actually didn't want to play with Tier 10 light tanks after all those nerfs, but I decided to play a few rounds. I was playing with AMX 1390, or sorry, AMX 13105. And do you know what else they did to 13105? They nerfed the clip size from 33 rounds to 24 rounds. I played 8 battles, 8 bloody battles, guys, with AMX 1390, and I ran out of ammunition 2 times in 8 battles. 24 rounds in the magazine. You have 360 alpha damage, you have shitty penetration, you have shitty accuracy, you cannot hit stuff. You cannot rely on your accuracy because your stock accuracy was nerfed once again on pretty much every single Tier 10 light tank. AMX 13105's accuracy is or was nerfed from 0.4 to 0.42. Yes, let's make gun handling even more shittier. And I ran out of ammunition 2 times. 24 rounds in the magazine, that means you have 6 clips in total. Your total damage potential is what is it, like 360 times 24, let's say 8,600 or something like that. So 8,600 damage potential if you are able to hit every single shot, if you are able to penetrate every single shot. But with this new shitty accuracy, you are not able to hit every single shot, you are not able to penetrate every single shot because you have kind of a meh penetration. 234 millimeters of penetration on AMX 13105, and you are fighting versus mouse tanks, versus Type 5s, versus all the other heavily armored tanks. You cannot be close to those tanks, otherwise you are going to be wrecked because you do not have any HP, you do not have any armor, you do not have any penetration, you do not have any alpha damage. For example, D100 LT, 300 alpha damage, 230 millimeters of penetration, and accuracy, guys, 0.46, 1000 HP. All you have in Tier 10 light tanks in close fights is your speed, your mobility. You do not have armor, all you have is your mobility. And you know, in World of Tanks, our maps are really small. It is hard to be sneaky. Anyways. It is actually hard to be sneaky. On city maps, light tanks, I don't know how they are going to fight versus medium tanks 1 versus 1. Every single medium tank from the same nation, Tier 10 medium tank versus Tier 10 light tank from the same nation, medium tank is going to shit on light tank day in, day out, easily, like that. So, I don't know what else to say. Wargaming. Listen. You cannot make every single player happy. There are always going to be crybabies. Always. There are always going to be people who are not going to like what they see. You cannot make every single player happy. Strop, yeah. I'm triggered. Stop trying to do that, please. For fuck's sake. And that is it. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. Maybe. Yeah. Keep nerfing the armor, keep nerfing TPM, alpha damage, penetration. Oh yeah, you actually haven't touched penetration wargaming. I believe 230mm of pen is a little bit too much on D100 LT. Make it 200. And while you are at it already, maybe you can make reload time a little bit longer as well, and aiming time. Oh, you actually haven't touched aiming time. I believe 3-second aiming time would be where I see those tanks. Like, yeah, 3-second aiming time, maybe. Because they are fast, they have decent camo, they have decent view range. T100 LT has 390 meters view range. Tier 10 light tank, guys. How OP is that? And on that bombshell, I believe I am going to end this semi-rant, semi-trigger episode. I don't know. I'm actually pretty triggered. actually not that much, I guess. Like, yeah. But I don't know, as I said, this is just my opinion, my take on it. You can agree with me, you can say fuck you Des, I'm out of here, and let me know what you think about this situation. I was hyped about tier 10 light tanks, I am not hyped anymore, but most likely I am still going to play with them because they look sexy. Yeah. Okay, I fuck off now, bye.